Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, good people. Welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we are so excited to have you again. A lot of tension is surging over the case of the sack of Ebonyi State Governor Dave Umahi. We've heard the reaction of Ebonyi State Governor and what NBA have to tell him. But right now, we are looking at the demand from one of the topmost civil society organization in Nigeria, as the demand is really disturbing, as it points at respecting the law and doing what is expected of him to do at a time like this. We're going to be looking at all of these in a jiffy. But before we do that, if you've not subscribed to our channel, please do well to hit on the red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you get notification anytime we publish our news. Now, according to the news, a Human Rights Association of Nigeria, Huriwa, has asked Mr. Dave Umahi to step down from the position of Governor of Ebonyi State in compliance with the judgment of the Federal High Court made by Honorable Justice Iyan Ekwo. It is unfortunate that a man who has worked as a governor of a state for 7 years plus to be seen casting aspersion openly against a judge of a competent court of law, which is another of the third arm of government via the legislature, judiciary, and the executive. It is the height of executive rascality for the former governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, to use unprintable words to describe a judge of a federal high court, and indeed one of the finest jurists in Nigeria, given his prodigious intellectual output as an author of an outstanding legal books. The disrespectful attitude of Umahi demonstrates the truism in what we had said previously, that he, Umahi, lacks the temperament to be the president of Nigeria. If by mistake or accident Mr. Umahi becomes the next president, then he will pocket the judiciary and install his puppet as judges to do his bidding. He, Umahi's unguided statement and his calculated but unwarranted diatribe targeted at the judiciary of Nigeria is, to say the least, disappointing. It is even sadder that INEC is yet to comply and enforce the judgment of the court. Why is INEC also disrespecting the law? Why is a man already stripped legally of the authority of the governor of Ebonyi State still parading about as governor, and the law enforcement agencies are aiding and abetting illegality? INEC, being a constitutionally created body, must abide by the binding judgment of the competent court of law recognized by Section 6 of the 1999 Constitution, which states thus that the number one, judicial power of the Federation shall be vested in the courts to which this section relates, being court established for the Federation. 2. That the judicial power of a state shall be vested in the court to which this section relates, being court established subject as provided by the Constitution for a state. 3rd, that the court to which this section relates, established by this Constitution for the Federation and for the state, specifically in subsection 5A to 1 of this section, shall be the only superior court of record in Nigeria, and save as otherwise prescribed by the National Assembly or by the House of Assembly of a state. Each court shall have all the powers of a superior court of record. Nothing in the foregoing provision of this section shall be construed as preluding the National Assembly or any House of Assembly from establishing court other than those to which this section relates, with subordinate jurisdiction to that of a high court. 2. The National Assembly or any House of Assembly which does not require it from abolishing any court which it has power to establish or which it has brought into being. This section relates to the Supreme Court of Law, the Court of Appeal, the Federal High Court, the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and a High Court of a state. The saddest reality is, if Dave Umahi was in PDP and has lost his position to APC, INEC would have complied with the judgment of the Federal High Court, because for now there is no superior ruling suspending the enforcement of that judgment. So INEC should immediately issue the certificate of return to the nominees sent by the PDP as directed by the court of law, pending the determination of the appeal instituted by the former Mr. Dave Umahi challenging the Federal High Court ruling. Recall that the Federal High Court in Abuja on Tuesday sacked Governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, and his deputy Dr. Eric Kelechi Igwe over their defection from the People Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress. The judgment delivered by Justice Inyang held that the total number of 393,042 votes Umahi secured at March 9, 2019 Ebonyi State governorship election belongs to the PDP, hence could not be legally transferred to the APC. The court noted that both Umahi and Igwe defection to the APC not only threw out the PDP, but also a vote that belongs to the party. However, Umahi said that the judgment which rendered him and his deputy removed on Tuesday was purchased. Umahi stated this during a press briefing in Abakaliki on Tuesday, and according to what he said, I am still the governor of Ebonyi State, and there is no tension at all. In the first place, there is no constitutional provision for any hatchet man to remove a governor. There are three ways whereby the governor can vacate his office. It's either by their resignation and impeachment. There is no other constitutional provision that empowers a hatchet man to turn the constitution upside down. We have heard the rumors before now that he was determined to give judgment against all known laws and the constitution, first to embarrass the APC and to equally embarrass the federal government. Wow. Now, this is really a strong demand, and it's kind of surging the tension that is in Ebonyi State. Now, a well-known civil society group is demanding that he leaves his office immediately according to the directive of the court. But unfortunately, the INEC has not responded. The only response that they have given is that they have not gotten in writing or in document the judicial proceeding, the judicial final words from the court, and they are still waiting that immediately they get it, they will jump into implementation. And it's going to be quite a serious one, looking at how the whole thing is going. A lot of responses have come in from different quarters. The lawyers have spoken about it, but the truth remains that that came from a court of competent jurisdiction, and as far as it came from there, it must be obeyed until proven otherwise by a higher court, possibly the Supreme Court or, the appeal court. So right now, the situation is so serious, and if Umahi does not take the required move, which he has already appealed, it might lead to him being hoisted out of office as the governor. But just like Huriwa had rightly said, I think that he should obey and step aside right away, and the INEC should take the next move, to bring in the right person into power. And this is really going to cause a lot of, tension in the entirety of Ebonyi State. And guess what? Shockingly, the president has not said any word about it. I don't know. What I heard was that the president is no more traveling to London. His intention is to come back to Nigeria. So I don't know by the time he resumes office if he's going to make a strong statement. But then the Buhari, we are yet to know whether he's against, the judiciary. But thus far, I don't think that he may do anything about it. After all, we've seen cases like this come up, and he didn't say anything about it. He respected, the court proceedings or the court statement. So I feel that at this point, he may likely do same again. But we'd like to leave it there. Go to our conversation. Let's